fonts that we use for our publications. So the first thing you need to do is open up your Dropbox folder. I have two, don't be confused. So open up your Dropbox folder and then click on the subfolder Students and then Report Formatting. Inside of this folder there's another folder called HTF Gotham. This is the font. So you're going to highlight all of the different subfonts and then right click, select Open With, and then Font Book. I already have these installed on my computer, so we'll see what it does. Click Install, and Font Book will open up. And once it's done validating the fonts, this will close. And you can close, well, select this first and install checked. And then you can do Command Q to close Font Book. Next, there's a document called Example Document. Just open this up with Microsoft Word. Okay, so it helps to expand your window so that you can see everything up here on this toolbar. But the first thing I will need you to do is click on this little icon that has two A's. It should say Change Quick Style Settings when you hover over it. And you're going to say Save as Quick Style Set. And I want you to rename it Strata Styles, and then click Save. Next, click on Themes, and click Save Theme, and name this Strata Theme.thmx, and then save. I already had that on my computer, so I just replaced it. So that's how you are going to have the style set and the Strata theme available to you at any time. If you click on the style set menu, it will drop down and you can see Strata Styles is now there, and it should pull up on every new Word document you work on. If I were to switch this style set, you can see the change it would make. So this is the fancy style set, and all of these are different. If I switch back to the Strata style set, these will all change again, with our primary font being Gotham, our body font being Minion Pro. On themes, you can do the same thing. Themes usually just involves a color palette, so you can use either the theme or the style set menu to apply this to your papers. Alright, so moving on, important things about writing your paper and navigation and making things easier in the long run as far as printing publications goes. You should know about this tool. This is the paragraph tool. If you click on it, it shows you all of the different hard returns you've made or section breaks. What we don't want is excess use of hard returns. So mine, you can see, I entered after each line, but in these open spaces, I didn't have to return because of the style sets that we're using. Anyway, I'm going to turn that off, but you should just know where it is. Next, in the toolbox, if you click this little flyout menu, all of those styles that we're going to be using are available in that toolbox. Down at the bottom, if you click Show Styles Guide, it will actually break up your report into the different styles that you're using. One thing to note is that every single piece in your report should be classified under a style. Nothing should just be its own random occurrence, because if that happens, I have to manually go through the document, find any instances that don't fit in a style, and apply a style to them, but usually that's after I've already imported them into Adobe InDesign and Anyway, it just adds a lot of extra work. So this way, everything is formatted the same across the board. Not only does it format it the same, it also makes it much easier for you guys to navigate. So the next thing that you should know about is this icon on the top. You can click on it and then select Document Map pane. This is the same window pane that opens up when you want to look at comments from other people and from spell check and grammar check and things like that. But what you can see here is that the styles that we're using, like heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, those all show up in this document map. So if I click on Principal Investigators, it will jump me to that page. I'm going to turn this off because it's distracting. So you click on Table of Contents, for example, and it will take you to Table of Contents. Takes you to Case Studies, and takes you there. You want to go to the introduction. So it's really nice for when you're editing your different pieces of a document. The second thing that's really nice about this is if I select something, Principal Investigators, for example, up here in my Styles toolbox, you can see that it's called Cover Page 2. That's the name of the style. If I want, I can easily modify one and change them manually. So we'll just say that I want it to be the font Airplane, and it will automatically update. So anything that was labeled Cover Page 2 is now Airplane. I'm going to do Command V because that's terrible. Okay, now we're back where we started. Let's get these to update. So as you're writing your paper, one thing to keep in mind is in the end of a document, the formatting should be pretty simple. You can see the main headings here. Principal Investigators, so this is the cover page. Table of Contents, the introduction, the case studies, the conclusions, the references, the appendix, and then any additional conclusions. So the main categories will show up here, and then subcategories will go underneath. So when you're writing your papers, think of it as an outline. Anything that is main heading, so Table of Contents, for example, should be heading 1, and then things after that should get smaller as you go. So you start at heading 1, the main body paragraph is called Body, which is pretty easy to remember. Fonts change a little bit for quotes, but you just select quote. And here's an example of heading 2. You can see this shows up underneath introduction. There's content analysis, and then if we want to jump right to the table should be another sub-menu. Anyway, I hope this helps. Set your papers up logically. It should just go from higher categories down to lower ones, and everything should have its own style.